Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to all the SPM candidates of 1119. We meet again, and now we are in part 3, forecasting questions for continuous writing, and we will be focusing on argumentative, reflective, and factual essay questions. Before we proceed, once again, I would like to remind all of you, the SPM candidates of 2020, forecasting questions should not be the only way that you make your final preparations for your SPM English 1119. All right, we are going to proceed. Now, we are going to look at the patterns for the argumentative, reflective, as well as factual essays, like what we did in the previous two videos. In part 1, descriptive essays, and in part 2, narrative essays. So, boys and girls, if you have missed part 1 and part 2, do watch the videos. All right? Now we are going to look at the past argumentative questions. We will begin with 2018. Young people should be trusted to make their own decisions. How far do you agree with this opinion? Explain why. So obviously, boys and girls, you could see that the first pattern of the question would be the teens. All right, young people, I would say, yeah, teenagers. All right, and the issue is open. Okay, what I mean by open, meaning it can be anything, anything under the sun. And another pattern that I noticed based on my analysis of the question, it is either a current issue, or a universal issue. So when we talk about making own decisions, is it a current issue or is it a universal issue? To me, definitely it is a universal issue. Now we look at 2017. The Malaysian tradition of having open houses is important and should be practiced more. So now we are talking about open houses. All right, that is the focus of the question for 2017. So, do you agree? Give reasons to support your view. So, to me, this issue is not about teenagers, but it is open. It can be anything. All right. And is it a current issue or is it a universal issue regarding open houses? Yeah, definitely it is a universal issue. 2016, some people believe that all students in Malaysia should learn at least 3 languages. What do you think? All right, when we talk about students, then we see the pattern under this label, teens. Okay, this pattern comes back. All right, and again, it is a universal issue. Okay, learning languages. 2015, social networking has caused a lot of problems. All right, is it talking about teenagers? Not really. I mean, there is no word in the question saying the focus is on teenagers. So that's how I come up with this term, open. All right. Anyway, is it a current issue or is it a universal issue for 2015? Perhaps these can come under current issues. So, boys and girls, why do I explain all these analyses? So that you would understand later when we try to forecast. All right. And you would also understand why later in my conclusion, I would say that actually it is not easy to make uh, a forecast, especially when the topic is open. All right. Anyway, we still look at 2014. There is a lack of freedom given to teenagers today. So, boys and girls, again, you could see the word teenagers. So, the pattern here, it is about teens. And freedom, the issue of freedom, is it a universal issue or a current issue? You are right, it is a universal issue. And 2013 is tuition necessary, discuss. And then 2012, should parents give children more freedom, discuss. All right, so tuition, definitely it involves teens, it involves students. 2012, children. All right, again, an issue that is related to teens. And 2011, should school students have part-time jobs? Again, okay, we could see the issue or the topic is related to teenagers. So based on the questions, all right, from 2011 up to 2018, all right, most of the times the questions focus on teens, but we also have open category. And what came out in 2019? All right. In 2019, boys and girls, there are two questions under this argumentative essay. First of all, modern inventions have made our lives much too complicated. Things used to be a lot simpler in the past. How far do you agree? And explain why. All right, obviously, it is um, a current issue. All right. Anyway, is it related to teens? Do you see any word saying that you have to relate to teenagers? The answer will be no. However, we could conclude, all right, that the issue is current because it talks about modern inventions. And to me, these can come under an open topic. Next, we are going to look at which do you think is more important, money or health? Compare the two and decide if one is more important than the other. Give your reasons. All right, so do you think this is a current issue or this is a universal issue? A topic on money or health? Yes, it is a universal issue, all right? And it is another open topic, all right? So when we talk about making a forecast, or we talk about forecasting a question, okay, these should, we should bear these in mind, all right? Now, first of all, boys and girls, the topic could be open or perhaps, all right, based on the past analysis, it could be related to teens. Now, the problem here, when it is open, it can be anything under the sun. Therefore, it could be quite challenging for us to make a forecast. All right. Now, when we talk about current issues for argumentative as a question, what could be current issues? Obviously, now, okay, we cannot run away from these topics. First of all, home-based learning or MCO. What is MCO? Movement, control, order. All right, definitely it is related to pandemic and also new normal. These are basically current issues, all right, which can come under one heading, that is pandemic. Besides, social media keeps on changing, and one of the current issues under social media would be TikTok, and perhaps there are new gadgets. Whatever the topic is, boys and girls, these tips, okay, are important for you. Now, first of all, because the question is an argumentative question, you need to make a clear stand. So you have to tell clearly in your essay, at the beginning of your essay, whether you agree, disagree, or partially agree with the statement given. All right? That is very important. Number two, in order to present an excellent essay, in order to write an excellent essay, you must present convincing reasons to support your stand, whether you agree, disagree, or partially agree. And for sure, boys and girls, you must explain each reason well. You need to support your reason, your explanation with data. And if you don't have data because it is in an exam situation, you may provide some logic, okay? Give logical explanations. And number four is also important. You must organize your ideas well, meaning you need to plan well. What must be written in paragraph one? What would be your first point, which is to be written in paragraph two? All right, followed by the second point to be written in the third paragraph, and so on until your last conclusion paragraph. All right, so you need to organize your ideas well. Now we are going to look at some of the questions under current issues. All right. Number one, home-based learning is much better than face-to-face learning. How far do you agree? All right, so even though this is a forecast question, boys and girls, to me, there is no harm. There is no harm for you to practice. How could you answer? How could you answer this question? What kind of stand can you take? What kind of points can you offer? All right, you can plan, you can practice. What would be your strongest point? What would be your second strongest point? And what would be your third strongest point? All right, so when you practice that, for sure, you will get benefits. There are benefits for you to gain. Now, let's say for practice, you also answer number two. The COVID-19 pandemic has also brought positive effects to the society. What do you think? Do you agree there are positive effects to our society during the pandemic? I'm sure some of you would say yes. No doubt we fear the virus, the deadly virus, all right? However, we cannot deny that the pandemic has also brought some positive effects to the society. So, as a preparation for your continuous essay, there is no harm for you to list down 3 or 4 strong points. All right? Now, number 3, movement control order is the best solution to stop the spread of a pandemic. Do you agree? Give reasons to support your view. So obviously, this is another possible question which could be asked under this heading, which is current issues. All right. Now, am I so sure that these could be the questions? The answer, boys and girls, definitely I am not sure. However, like in the previous videos in part 1 and part 2, my sharing is based on the analysis done on the past questions for continuous writing. Based on the analysis, as I showed just now, okay, we could say that the questions could be related to current issues. And now for part 3, we are talking about argumentative essays. That is our focus. And that is why I bring in issues like home-based learning, COVID-19 pandemic, and movement control order. So using these issues, I formulate argumentative questions for practices, all right? Which I think, as I said earlier, would surely benefit the SPM 1119 candidates. All right, so we are going to look at two more argumentative questions under the heading current issues, or one of the patterns, okay, which we identify when we do the analysis of past questions. All right. Number 4, social media has reduced teenagers' communication skills. Do you agree? Explain why. And number 5, modern gadgets bring more harm to teens. How far do you agree with this statement and why? All right, if you notice, boys and girls, questions 1, 2, and 3 are positive in nature. However, questions 4 and 5 are negative in nature. All right, but it doesn't matter. For your practice, for question 4 and 5 would be good, as it would force you, it would coach you, it would train you to think critically what would be your points, all right? Because you need to present, you need to write valid and convincing reasons for whatever stand that you take. All right. And now, okay, we are going to look at sample questions under this heading, that is universal issues. If you remember just now, the focus is on uh, current issues, but now it is universal issues. So, number 1, schools must introduce mental health subject. Do you agree? All right. So mental health could be a universal issue. Now, number 2, parents are at fault for their children's obesity. How far do you agree with the opinion and why? If you could see, the issue is purposely put in red, like the first one, mental health, and the second issue, children's obesity. And the third question, teenagers must learn entrepreneurial skills since young. So how far do you agree? And then why? All right, so these are examples of universal issues. As I said earlier, boys and girls, it is not easy for us to predict. It is not easy for us to forecast because the category is open, which means anything under the sun. All right. But whatever it is, I mean, whatever topic that Lembaga Peperiksaan would ask you in the actual paper, I am positive, I am confident that the topic is not that difficult. It is something that you as teenagers would be able to respond to. It is something that you teenagers or school students would be able to share your views. All right? So do not worry too much, even though I said when it is open, anything under the sun. Okay, it could be anything under the sun. All right. Now we are going to look at another genre, okay, for continuous writing essay question, that is reflective and factual. Now these are the past SPM questions. So we are going to look at with the first one. I think I want to start from the bottom, 2012. Okay, for 2012, saving money for future. All right, I think something is missing there. Never mind, we go to 2013. True Malaysian, describe what this means to you. All right, so what is the issue here? What is the topic here? True Malaysian. What it means to you. That's why this one, all these questions can come under either reflective or factual. All right, you will relate your personal experience. You would have to offer your personal views. That's why it is reflective, boys and girls. Now, 2014, why are animals important to human beings? Here you may bring in certain facts, and you will also offer your personal views why animals are important to human beings. 15, why is having good neighbors important? The same thing. All right, you will have to give your own views, your personal views. Okay, why is it important for us to have good neighbors? Now, 2016. Okay, previously, if you notice, the questions are shorter, but starting from 2016, the questions, okay, get longer. Okay, it has more requirements. 2016, there are many things to do after your SPM examination. All right, write about your plans. This is the first part. Your plans, more than one, for the next 3 months, and the challenges you might face. Now, this is the second part. Okay, so it could be anything. If you look at 2013, True Malaysian, 2014, from True Malaysian, it shifted to animals. From animals in 2014, it shifted to good neighbors. Then in 2016, about plans after SPM. 2017, about moving to another part of Malaysia. 2018, about time management. That's why the first pattern for reflective and factual would be open. All right, anything can be asked by lembaga peperiksaan. However, if you notice, whatever the topic is, boys and girls, once again, you can offer your personal views, your personal opinions. All right, now we continue with 2017. If you had the opportunity to move to another part of Malaysia, how many parts? One part, meaning a place. Where would you choose to live? And explain your choice. So don't worry. Yes, the topic is open. However, you should be able to offer or to write your own opinions, your personal views. All right? So don't worry too much. 2018, some people complain that they have no free time. Discuss the reasons why they might say this and suggest how they could use their time better. So you see, as I said just now, from 2016, the question gets longer and there are at least two parts two requirements. So you must read the question carefully, and you must make sure that you write about all the parts. All right? Like 2018, discuss the reasons why they might say this, why they have no free time. Part 1, and suggest how they could use their time better. Part 2. So you should be able to offer your opinions. Now, what came out in 2019? If you have the chance to be someone else, who would you choose to be? So this is the first task. You need to choose someone that you would like to be. Explain what would be good about being that person. All right. Okay. The positive things being that person, and what might be difficult, meaning to say the challenges. So there are three parts here. Again, it is an open category, but can you give your personal views here? Yes, for sure, you can give your personal views, and for sure, you can give your own opinions. All right. What could be difficult being that person? That came out in 2019. So now, what about 2020? All right, let us look at some tips here. Boys and girls, okay, can you look at what is written on the left hand side first? All right, the first bullet again, okay, I repeat, we could say for factual or reflective question on continuous writing, it would be open, it would be personal, and there are opinions for you to write about. Now, how do I come up with these patterns? Definitely from my personal analysis of the past continuous writing questions, all right, which I shared just now. As I said earlier, yes, the topic could be open, meaning so wide. It is difficult for us to make prediction, to make a forecast. Please don't worry. There will be something that you can write about. Okay, you can write about. Now, so I still want to relate to current issues. Okay, for factual or reflective essay. So it's the same. It's the same, boys and girls. It could be related to what is happening now, the pandemic, the new normal, movement control order, and once again, okay, anything to do with gadgets, anything to do with the advancement in social media, that would come under current issues. And if there are issues, the latest issues, I mean, related to teenagers, the issues can also come under current issues. So don't worry too much, whatever topic, okay, that is chosen by Lembaga Peperiksaan for your factual or reflective essay, please bear in mind these tips. First of all, please make sure that you know the topic well. All right. And when you are asked to give your personal views, when you are required to give your opinions, all right, what would be good is that please present mature, fresh, and interesting views or opinions. That would help you to score well. And for sure, whatever views, whatever opinions that you share, that you write in your essay, please make sure you explain well, you develop well, all right? And for sure, you must organize your ideas. Okay, plan well. What would be your first idea? What would be your second idea, your third idea? And if you have your fourth idea, why would it be? All right. When we talk about organization, please make sure you arrange all your ideas according to importance. Please rank your ideas well, meaning the most convincing idea, the best point should be presented first, followed by the second best or the second strongest point. Okay. And your third point or your fourth point, okay, should still be a strong point, but perhaps, okay, they are not the best. Okay, they could be written later in the third or in the fourth paragraph. So now we are going to look at some sample questions, boys and girls, and these come under current issues. First of all, e-learning has become a new normal for students. Discuss. So here you have to give your own views. You can give your opinions. Number two, movement control order. Describe what it means to you. Obviously, you are required to offer your views, your personal opinions regarding this issue. That is movement control order. And some parents really control their children's usage of smartphones. Do you think it is the right thing to do? Explain your view. All right. This can be reflective because you can bring in your personal views, whether parents who really control their children's usage of smartphones are doing the right thing. Next, we look at some questions which are based on universal issues. Remember universal issues? Anything under the sun. However, don't worry too much. As teenagers, the questions would allow you to share certain views like this one. Okay, we'll begin with number one. Imagine you have a special talent. Describe the talent. Explain what would you do with your talent for the benefits of other people. So you could see that the question has a few parts, but it focuses on a special talent. All right. Surely, as a Form 5 student, you will be able to share some views, some opinions regarding this topic. Number two, what is the best way to promote racial unity in your neighborhood? All right. So, racial unity is an important issue. It is a universal issue which you should be able to offer some views, some opinions. And the third example, how can you achieve true happiness and make others proud of you at the same time? Everybody wants to be happy. And when we talk about true happiness, it is undoubtedly a universal issue. So, for conclusion, boys and girls, as I said earlier, it is difficult for us to forecast questions when one of the patterns is open. Yeah, we cannot deny that. All right. And for number two, argumentative or factual essays normally require candidates to read a lot, which means you must have sufficient knowledge, boys and girls, if you choose to answer, especially an argumentative essay question. All right? Because when you read a lot, only then you will be able to present convincing and valid reasons to support your stand. And number three, all right, boys and girls, okay, please don't worry too much. As I said, even though the topics could be something highly difficult, okay, don't worry. The topics would normally be related to teens and the issues which candidates can respond to. Okay, if we look at what came out, okay, in the past years, I don't think so that there are topics which are highly difficult for Form 5 candidates. So, to all of you, prepare yourself well. I wish all of you the best for your continuous writing. All right? Yes, there are a few genres, boys and girls. We have descriptive essays, we have narrative essays, argumentative, reflective, and factual essays. All right? The choice is always yours. You make the decision. Do what you can do best. So, with that note, I hope all of you would achieve great success in your SPM English Language 1119. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.